in the studio talking about Common Core. And Mary Bicey, you are someone with some impressive credentials. You told me for 30 some years the title MOM.
That's right.
And now for how long a grandma?
12 years.
Isn't that amazing? And Mary, what kind of a legacy do you see us leaving for our children?
On the road we're headed with education, the legacy that America has meant to leave for our children is not going to happen.
And Common Core is a big part of what you're talking about, isn't it?
Common Core is linked to UNESCO, the United Nations education arm.
You know, Common Core sounds so harmless, so wonderful. Tell us why it is not.
Well, it's very common. The state of South Dakota, first the state of South Dakota has said they are our Common Core standards. They're not. They're copyrighted by the National Governors Association and the Council of Chief State School Officers. We cannot change anything in the Common Core, even if we wanted to.
So it's coming down from higher officials or from a direction, even in the United Nations, really.
Right, from trade associations that have been, the writing of the standards have been funded by Bill Gates through UNESCO, and the federal government, the state of South Dakota says they did not write the standards. The state of South Dakota is right to that extent. The federal government did not fund the writing of the standards, but the federal government is the only one funding the assessments.
Let's give our viewers an opportunity to see, just through a little peephole, some of what Common Core is about. I think I heard you say that there are like 400 points associated with Common Core. Talk a little bit about that and give us an example of a few of those.
One of the stipulations of Common Core that we have agreed to, one of the mandates, is that we set up a database, a tracking database. It's called a P20, and the P used to stand for preschool. We're finding out now that it's going to be much younger than that, through age 20. And that database has to be able to share information with other states.
So we hear so much about the government collecting data on all of us. Now on our children, through the educational process, their tentacles seem to be reaching even deeper.
Some of the points that they want to collect are blood type, political affiliation, religious affiliation.
Now, those political and religious affiliations for children?
Well, it would be of the parents, and we've seen what the IRS does with political affiliation.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are some other alarming things about Common Core?
The standards are really very low.
So it's not elevating the quality of education.
Dr. Sandra Stotsky, the only English language arts academic professor on the Common Core Validation Committee, refused to sign off on the standards, saying that they were empty skill sets and it traded a 12th grade reading level for an 8th grade reading level.
So it appears that it's an intentional dumbing down of our children.
It is, to create a managed economic system.
Now, when you say to create a managed economic system, tell me what you mean by that.
Well, you will no longer hear the words free market. Those words are disappearing from the vocabulary in not only Washington, D.C., but in state governments.
And how, in the education process, what will that be replaced with?
In the education process, our children are referred to as human capital.
Well, now, isn't that an interesting concept? Expendable, you might say.
Yes, yes. They're nothing more than human capital. And the assessments that the federal government is funding for the Common Core are no longer called tests. They are called assessments. It's not the little dots that you and I filled out in school. There's essay questions, and they will be judged, assessed given a value by a person who doesn't really know the child, and then they will be put into one of 16 career clusters.
So basically someone is targeting them or steering them into a specific career even.
And what do we need in America? We need more burger flippers.
My Lord, if you want more information on Common Core from someone who really has really have invested a lot of time and energy in it, will you share your website so our viewers can go there?
You can go to sdagainstcommoncore.com.
sdagainstcommoncore.com.
And we have a Facebook page, South Dakotans Against Common Core.
Well, Mary, God bless you for what you're doing, and thank you for sharing with our listeners today. Just scratching the surface of the terrible things that Common Core would do for our children, or I should say to our children. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.